The South Gauteng High Court is today expected to make a decision on whether municipal services that were cut to the property, the houses Gautrain and Sandton, be reconnected or not. Now, Cedra Park, which owns the property, took the matter to court after the City of Johannesburg cut the services, alleging non-payment. Now, Gautrain commuters have been without essential services since the 7th, leaving the Gautrain no choice but to supply temporary ablution facilities. To expand more on this, I'm joined now by our reporter Hitekani Magwedze to talk us through a little bit more about this. Hitekani, I can see you standing outside court. What can be expected today in this matter?
Well, very good morning to you and to our viewers as well. As you rightly said, the City of Joburg cut off essential services from the property where Gautrain is housed and leaving the Gautrain to provide temporary facilities for the more than 20,000 a day commuters. And as you can imagine, there are a lot of health concerns expressed by Gautrain, really pleading with the city to ensure that they resupply the services that are due to the people there or the company there. But the City of Joburg really coming out and saying that it's well within their rights to cut off the services, especially water, considering, well, they're alleging that since 2013, when Cedar Park, which is the company that owns the property to which Gautrain is on, there's never been any payment for municipal rates and services. And as you can imagine, it's a lot of years. It's about 6 years of alleged non-payment. And what the city is saying is that it's attempted numerous times via pre-termination letters or notices that had been sent to Cedar Park to ensure that there is payment. The most recent one, or rather the first one mentioned by the city, is back in 2018, where it says that it issued a pre-termination notice, and at that time the bill was sitting at 3.3 million rand for municipal rates and services, and it says that the Cedar Park business only paid just a little less than 700,000 rand, and that's the only payment that was made in reaction to a pre-termination notice. It also says in July this year it issued another pre-termination notice to which there was no response. It's alleging that Cedar Park has been unwilling to enter into a payment agreement with the city to the 8 million rand bill that's sitting for the municipal rates and services right now. So, but in response, in response to the cut off to the services, for example, water to the property, Cedar Park has now gone to court to interdict that cut off, saying that there are a lot of issues that needs to be dealt with in court before there can be a cutting of the services, saying that in the meantime, while the court is proceeding, there should be a reconnection of those services so that it can allow for the business to run as usual while the issues are being dealt with and ironed out in court. Some of those issues, of course, are brought up by the application by Cedar Park. Some of those issues have to do with the amounts that are indebted to the City of Joburg. There's queries about how the city came to those amounts, but also there is a counter. There's a counter claim made by Cedar Park.
Reaction from Mayor Herman Mashaba, just to hear what the city's response is to that. But thank you for the update. My colleague Hitekani Magwedze standing outside court just to get some clarity on this matter as court proceedings are underway. Now, discussing this issue further, we're now joined on the line by Mayor of Johannesburg, Herman Mashaba. Mr. Mashaba, good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us. Allegations of the city not paying rent. To your understanding, Mayor, exactly what is the issue at stake here?
Well, thank you very much, firstly, for the opportunity. It's not for the city not paying rent. It is the city not being paid rent by this company that is allegedly or is the owner of the property at the Sandton Gautrain station. Unfortunately, it came to my attention sometime last year during our investigation. We launched a project called Buyam Tetra, looking at companies that can afford not actually paying for their services. And unfortunately, we came across this particular company called Cedar Park, which was also responsible for not paying for their services. And we started engaging them. And ultimately, just over 2 weeks ago, we decided to cut their services of water to this company. And obviously, as you are aware, this morning they've taken us to court, requesting us or demanding us to reconnect, which we unfortunately are prepared to really defend this matter in a court of law, because as a city we cannot allow a situation where a private company does not pay for services and expect that us as a municipality to provide services. And what is actually quite interesting but very concerning at the same time, while we're doing this investigation on the payment of the services, we discovered the purchase of irregular purchase of this property by this company, where the city itself actually literally donated this piece of land to this particular company. So our legal the guys working with our outside independent forensic investigators are looking in this matter, but we are really very concerned that this company has not paid a cent for this property. We don't understand how the City of Johannesburg can donate such a prime piece of land to a private company, including not actually charging them for services.
And we understand that Cedar Park said that they are unwilling to enter into a payment agreement. Can you confirm this?
Well, that's yes. That is the reason why we've decided to really cut their services. But at the same time, we are looking at the irregular purchase of this property, because they've not to date paid a single cent for this piece of prime land belonging to the City of Johannesburg. We are investigating as to what really transpired, because as you are aware, this Cedar Park is a subsidiary of Regiment Capital, which is a subsidiary one of the companies linked to the Gupta family. So we did really trying to really get deep into this matter. And obviously of interest to us as well is we're looking at the involvement of former MMC of Finance, Mr. Jeff Makuba, who in 2006 entered into an agreement with Regiment Capital to play a facilitation role, where he was given 10% of fees by Regiment received from the City of Johannesburg. To date, we are aware of him and his mother receiving in excess of 30 million rands. So, and as you are aware, in 2013, when this piece of land was transferred to Regiment Capital and the Cedar Parks, which belongs to the Regiment, Jeff Makuba was the MMC of Finance for the City of Johannesburg. But this all matters are under investigation.
And in terms of today's court proceedings, what outcome are you expecting? And also just touching on what you're speaking about here on this piece of land being rented without any money coming in, is there any paper trail to back that?
Well, we have a paper trail. It's not even rented. They actually basically donated to a private company, not even paying a cent. And the city was supposed to have sold this prime piece of land to this company for 280 million rand. But what is strange about it with the paper trail is that the city itself issued a bond against itself as a guarantor for this company. But to date, the city has not received a single cent out of this. Basically, it was actually a donation to the Cedar Park's Regiment Capital company, which is part of the Gupta-linked company.
Thank you so much, Mayor Mashaba. Thank you for your time. Now,